All of us must have heard some incredible and unbelievable stories, where some people manage to survive scenarios that logic can't quite explain. There are many life heroes who have endured mind-boggling traumas and hardships. They have lived in rafts for weeks and months at sea, trapped in a faulty parachute, eaten alive by Anaconda, and emerged from collapsed buildings. Here are the stories of 7 such people who have managed somehow to survive fates that might seem to mean certain doom. Bold Timbler mauled by a hippo. Timbler was suddenly attacked by a hippo. After Timbler's partner guide was thrown into the river, he jumped in to try to save him but ended up head first inside the hippo's giant mouth. Its giant bone-crushing teeth spread through his armpits, ruptured through his back, ripped his foot, severed his arm, broke ribs, and tore holes all through his torso. After 7 hours of operation, Timbler survived the brutal hippo attack. Truman Duncan, cut in half by a train. This railroad switchman had tumbled off the front of a moving train car and was dragged underneath the train. His body was basically clean in half. He was separated from both legs and a kidney. However, he managed to call 911 on his cell phone and hold out for the 45-minute wait and survived the 23 surgeries that followed after the accident. Ken Henderson, stranded at sea. 2 best friends, Ken Henderson and Ed Cowan, embarked on a fishing trip in the Gulf of Mexico. When without any known cause, the 30-foot-long boat was sinking very fast. There was no time to call for help over radio, nor could they prevent the boat's system from failing. Before they knew it, the boat had sunk and they were both stranded for 30 hours in the ice-cold Gulf. Henderson made a last-minute effort to swim towards an oil rig. After 50 miles of swimming, Henderson made it and could call his wife. Unfortunately, Con's lifeless body was discovered a short time later. Bull Rosalie eaten alive by Anaconda. The Discovery Channel was airing a special about anacondas featuring filmmaker Bull Rosalie wearing a snake suit and voluntarily being swallowed by Anaconda. He slathered himself in pig's blood, drew the attention of the massive snake, and was immediately coiled in its grip. Rosalie had panicked after he felt his arm breaking and requested for the crew to detach himself from the huge anaconda. Only part of his head went through the snake's mouth, but had his stun gone further, Bull may not have survived. Holly Dunn, the only surviving victim, Angel Resendez, was a man who had already killed 6 people and would to continue to kill even more. Holly Dunn and her boyfriend Chris Mayer were far away from a party and wound up chatting near some train tracks. Resendez approached and threatened them with an ice pick, then tied 2 of them up only to kill Chris Mayer with a 50-pound rock to the head. Holly Dunn was assaulted in all ways imaginable, but she managed to survive rape, an ice pick to the neck, shattered eye socket, and broken jaw. Holly Dunn was the only survivor among the 15 people Resendez murdered over the span of 15 years. Lindy Harding, skydiving with a faulty parachute. Harding was eager to try skydiving during her trip to California with friends. But after leaping out of the plane at a heart-stopping height of 8,500 feet, Lindy's parachute had become tangled in the reserve. Lindy continued to fall for 40 seconds and 70 miles per hour until she finally struck the ground. Miraculously, she only sustained 2 fractured ribs, a punctured lung, a cracked nose, and chipped tooth. It's reported that doctors blame her survival on the fact that she passed away before hitting the ground, since her body was relaxed. Aaron Rolston cutting on arm to free himself. Climber Aaron Rolston found himself trapped alone in Utah Canyon and had to perform DIY surgery to save his life. For 6 days, Aaron Rolston kept himself alive with fierce self-control and conviction that only logical thought could let him survive. He got trapped with 800-pound boulder crushing his arm up against the stone wall. 5 days progressed and the rations and water were depleted. Using the boulder for leverage, he was able to snap the bone in his wrist, and then with a very dull survival knife, managed to slice through muscle tendon. He was finally found and rescued by fellow hikers.